Hello, happy cookie season, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm about to make the Lemon-Turmeric Crinkle cookies by Eric Kim of the New York Times, and I want to show you how it goes. I'm super excited about these. They look very visually pleasing, and I also think they're going to be not too sweet, which sometimes I appreciate in a cookie. Because if it's not too sweet, that means it's suitable for breakfast. I really enjoyed Eric Kim's recipe for gochujang caramel cookies. I also made a video about those, but he does say something a little strange in the description of these. Imagine powdered donuts run through with Fruit Loops cereal milk on a Saturday morning. What does run through with mean? I hope to find out. Oh my god, he even says they're lovely for breakfast. I didn't read that part before I said that, but me and Eric are on the same page. Okay, in a large bowl, we are whisking together 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 1/2 teaspoon of ground turmeric. I've got this fancy little jar of turmeric that I bought at a street fair. It smells really good, actually. Eric says to let it sit for about 30 seconds to let the turmeric dissolve. While we do that, I'm going to zest these lemons. Is this gonna take a million years? Maybe. I'm using something else. I'm going to use this side of my box grater instead. Okay, I feel like this lemon is pretty exhausted. Now let's zest this one as well. Oh, and I cut myself. We're back. Now they're bald. I'd say that's 2 tablespoons worth of zest. Now I'm adding 3/4 cup of sugar. The lemon zest that we just worked so hard on. We need 4 ounces of room temperature cream cheese, which is half of one of these packages. One room temperature egg, which I'm going to crack into a little dish first. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we get to whisk vigorously to combine and aerate the mixture for about a minute. Let me try to unload some of this cream cheese from my whisk. My forearm is burning. Okay, it's definitely been a minute. I still have chunks, so let's press on. I can live with the chunks that are left. Now we're whisking in 3/4 a teaspoon of baking soda. 3/4 of a teaspoon is a strange measurement, so this is my 1/4 teaspoon. There's 3. And the recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon coarse kosher salt or fine salt. I've got my kosher salt in my grinder. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Let's whisk again. And now it's time to add in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Eric says to switch to a rubber spatula and stir to combine. You know what it smells like? It smells like lemon meringue. And I love that smell. So the anticipation is building. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Now is the worst part. We need to let this set up in the fridge until it gets firm enough to scoop. At least 30 minutes to up to 24 hours. But we're not doing that. In 30 minutes, you're gonna see me again. In the meantime, I'm going to feed my cats because they're going nuts and driving me nuts. Oh, and I just covered it with plastic wrap. We're gonna cover it before we put it in the fridge. Oh my gosh, she's crazy. Okay, it's been like 45 minutes. Let's see how the dough looks. Gorgeous. It definitely seems firmer. Let's form it into cookies. And I just preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I'm wearing gloves now. Normally I would just use my hands, but because of the little cut I got earlier and my Band-Aid, I don't want this to be gross. Oh yeah, the dough feels good. Okay, so each cookie is supposed to be 1.5 tablespoons. That looks about right to me. I'm just going to quickly roll it into a little ball, and then we're going to just quickly coat in powdered sugar. This is 3/4 a cup of powdered sugar. That looks great. And I'm going to place it on my baking sheet lined with parchment paper. We're going to put each of the cookies about 2 inches apart. Okay, that's one tray done. I'm going to put these in the oven for 15 to 17 minutes. While the first tray is in the oven, I'm going to finish up the rest of the dough. I'm going a little heavier with the powdered sugar on this batch just to see what happens, just for the sake of experimentation. That's the rest of our dough, and this tray is ready to put in the oven as well. Now we wait. The recipe said it would yield 18 cookies, and I ended up with 15, so maybe I did make some of them a little heftier than was advised, but I'm not mad about it. Okay, here they are right out of the oven. My initial reaction is that maybe I didn't powder them enough with the powdered sugar. They are crinkly, which I'm pleased with, but could they be more crinkly? Could they be crinklier? Perhaps. I'm excited to try one, but I'm supposed to let them cool completely on the pan before I do, which sucks, and I don't know if I'm going to do it. Okay, tray number 1. Tray number 2. Like, that's crinkle. This is the one that I think is the prettiest. Ooh. Yum. Does smell really good. I do feel like they're cooked perfectly. Not overdone, not underdone. In my oven, it was 16 minutes at 350 degrees. If a scone can be eaten at breakfast time, so can these. Honestly, I do feel like they'd be best with like a cup of Earl Grey tea or a coffee even. These are meant to be eaten at breakfast time. That's just the situation. I think if you're gonna make a Christmas morning brunch, maybe put out these cookies. They're perfect for that, in my opinion. Or like a little afternoon tea. I don't know anyone who actually does that, but in theory, it sounds really nice. Invite some friends over for some afternoon tea, make these cookies. They'll be like, wow, I didn't know that you were such a fancy person. And you'll be like, yes, I've always been this way. Pay me my respects.